Hi, 8th grade. Today we're doing probably the biggest topic from this section, and it's a really important one. This one is lesson 8-3 on page 486, and it is multiplying binomials using the FOIL method. So if you've ever heard of FOIL before, or if you did it studying for your map test, this is the big day today. Our gotta check is on page 488, number 3A. And then your homework for tonight is page 490, numbers 20 to 28. And your bell ringer is page 491, number 61. Don't forget your 3 sentences. Okay, so first of all, we are talking about binomials here. So what do we mean when we have a binomial? Well, a binomial means that we have 2 terms. So when we multiply binomials, since they have 2 terms, what we're going to be looking at is 2 expressions in parentheses. So in this case, for example, we're going to look at a binomial 5x minus 3, and we're also going to look at, I think it's 2x plus 1. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of the format that you're going to see. Right? There's going to be 2 terms in each one, and we're going to multiply them using FOIL. Okay? FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. Okay? When we do this, it's sort of like doing the distributive property twice. And it's much easier to see if we're actually doing it in an example. So this example is on page 488. It's the same place where you're going to be doing your gotta check in a little bit. Okay, so let's take this expression and work on it. So I'm going to be multiplying 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so here's the FOIL. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So I'm going to make a little note over here. So F stands for first, O stands for outside, I stands for inside, L stands for last. Okay? And you're going to recognize this because it's going to look similar to our distributive property arrows. Okay? So first I'm going to multiply the first 2 terms. So I'm going to do kind of a little arrow like this. So these are each the first terms. So I'm going to start with 5x times 2x. This would be 5 times 2 is 10. So this would be 10x squared because there are 2 x's. Okay? You're almost always going to get either an x squared or possibly even an x to the 4th in your first term. Okay? If it doesn't have x squared, watch out, you might have done something wrong. Okay? Next, I'm going to multiply the outside terms. So the outside terms would be 5x and the 1. So I'm going to do a little arrow here. So 5x times a positive 1. Remember, that's the leash on the 1. So 5x times positive 1 is just a positive 5x or plus 5x. Okay. Next, I'm going to multiply the inside terms. So I'm going to do my arrow on the bottom this time. So the 2 inside terms would be negative 3 and 2x. Again, I've got to be very careful about this negative sign because you can't walk the dog without the leash, so I can't multiply it without considering that negative sign. So negative 3 times a positive 2x, that would give me a negative 6x. And then I'm going to multiply the last 2 terms. That's the L of my FOIL, so the negative 3 times the 1, those are the last 2 terms. And negative 3 times positive 1 would be negative 3. So I'm going to write a minus 3 down here. Okay. Now, I'm very close to being done. But what you're going to recognize is whenever you end up multiplying binomials, usually, not 100% of the time, but 99%, you're going to notice that the 2 terms in the middle are like terms. 5x and negative 6x, those terms are alike, right? Because they both have an x variable piece. So I can combine those, okay? So let's simplify this combining like terms. So I have 10x squared, can't do anything else with that, so we'll just leave it 10x squared. And then if I have 5x minus 6x, that would give me a net negative 1x result. So I'm going to put a negative 1x here. And then last but not least, we have minus 3. Well, that's not alike to anything else, so we're just going to put it out there. And then we're done. Okay, so this is our simplified expression once we have multiplied it out. So this would be the expanded form. Okay, you ready for the gotta check? So our gotta check is on page 488, and we are doing gotta check 3a. So I'm going to write that down. It is the binomial 3x minus 4, and we're multiplying this by x plus 2. Okay, pause the video, come back, and we'll do this one together. Okay, let's multiply this out using FOIL. So again, I'm going to do first, outside, inside, last. So multiplying my first terms, 3x times 1x would give me 3x squared. I've got two x's. I'm going to multiply my outside terms, 3x times positive 2. That would give me 6x, so plus 6x. Next, I'm going to multiply my insides, negative 4 times x. That would give me a negative 4x. Can't lose the leash on the dog. And then negative 4 times positive 2 in the back over here. That would give me a negative or minus 8. Okay. Last but not least, I recognize that my two terms in the middle are alike. So let's finish this up by combining them. So I still have my 3x squared. In the middle, I have a positive 6 minus 4x. So 6x's minus 4x's gives me 2x's. And last but not least, I've got my minus 8 taken out at the end. Okay, that's it. So it's time to try homework. So our homework is on page 490, numbers 20 to 28, and don't forget your bell ringer. Okay, bye 8th grade. I'll see you tomorrow.